You can't associate Manchester United and success without mentioning this man. He's arguably the reason why United dominated the Premier League in the late 90s and early 2000s.
In my opinion, the best, but his man management was something which a lot of managers would struggle to match him with.
It wasn't really until Sir Alex Ferguson left and retired that we realised how good.
Fast forward to the present day now, and many people believe the same success he built early on might just be the end of him. I mean, seriously, if he watches another United battering against Liverpool, he might move on. Truth is, Sir Alex moulded United into the dynasty they are today, and off the back of what existed, that's something. The treble-winning squad of 1999, United's biggest achievement under Sir Alex. A little preface into this. Coming into that season, United was the dominant force in English football. Since the Premier League was created into a new format in 1992, they'd only failed to win the league on 2 occasions up to that point. What's more, Sir Alex had rebuilt the team into a core attacking unit that dominated English football. The players they had on that team were incredible. From the back, Peter Schmeichel was a rock in goal. The centre-back pairing of Jaap Stam and Ronnie Johnson was enough to scare any opposition's attack. Down the flanks at full-backs, Dennis Irwin at the left back and Gary Neville at the right back were more than solid. This current United team now would give anything to have the midfield duo they had back in the day. Roy Keane, the enforcer, and Paul Scholes, the advanced midfielder. Down the wings, David Beckham on the right was more than capable of putting a decent cross in. Ryan Giggs on the left was a traditional winger who did the same thing. And in attack, the duo of Dwight Yorke and Andy Cole was unplayable. It weren't just the players they had starting. Alex Ferguson also had a bench that was capable of causing serious problems too. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Teddy Sheringham, Wes Brown, all these guys could come in and do a job if and when needed. The team played like a unit. They played Ferguson's brand of football. Now, before we go any further, some of you watching right now still haven't subscribed to our new channel, Matchday 365 yet. So just smash that subscribe button below and give the video a like at the same time. Immediately, if they lost the ball, they were on it to win it back. The speed and fluidity in attack were incredible. And to put this into effect, Alex Ferguson had created a deadly duo in Yorke and Cole that contributed to 53 of United's 126 goals that season, which is roughly about 42%. Wild, right? But you see, all their dominance in the Premier League, United was yet to conquer European football. Up until the 1999 season, the best they'd managed since Ferguson came in was a 1997 Champions League semi-final defeat to eventual winners Borussia Dortmund. But that's off the back of the fact that they had history in the competition. In 1968, United became the first English team to win the European Cup, or the Champions League as it's called now. So when the 1998-99 season rolled around, it had been 20 years since they tasted that success. In the group stages of the competition that year, they were placed in a group containing Bayern Munich, Barcelona and Brøndby. They came out in second place and made it as one of the 2 best runners-up in the then 6-match group stages. They beat Inter Milan in the quarter-finals, and in the semis, after drawing 0-0 to Juventus at home, they found themselves 2-0 down inside the opening 11 minutes. But by the end of the game, a Roy Keane-inspired performance turned it around to win 3-2. In the final itself against Bayern Munich, United went down to a Mario Basler's goal in the 6th and trailed for 85 minutes until Teddy Sheringham came off the bench to equalise. And a few seconds later, the comeback was complete. Solskjaer really had won it. As soon as the ref hit that whistle, Sir Alex's United team had created history. Or more like Alex, because it was after his historic treble-winning team that he got knighted and became a Sir. See, a lot of people believed United's treble-winning team was built on luck. And while this isn't entirely wrong, I mean, you do need some elements of luck to win a game. It was just down to the mentality of the players they had in their team. The likes of Roy Keane and Jaap Stam, players who never gave up. And it wasn't just in the Champions League the team showed this mentality. They did it in every competition. The Premier League title race that year was hard. United had dominated, yeah, but Arsenal wasn't far behind, and neither was Chelsea. Coming into the final day of the season, United led the way with 76 points. Arsenal was right behind them with 75, and Chelsea was effectively out of the picture with 72. Point is, it was very tight. United knew a slip-up on the last day could effectively cost them the title, and after going down at home to Spurs, it seemed like that was going to be the case. But again, they didn't give up. They came back to win 2-1 and sealed the title in the process. In the FA Cup semi-final versus Arsenal, the same mentality was on show here. Beckham scored early on for United. Dennis Bergkamp equalised for Arsenal. And to make it worse, only minutes later, Roy Keane was sent off for a tackle on Mark Overmars. Just minutes after, United had conceded the equaliser. Down to the 10 men, the treble dreams were hanging in the balance. But United dug deep, and in extra time, Ryan Giggs scored a stunner to send United to the final. Got them out of the hairy situation. They beat Spurs to clinch the trophy. Add this to the Premier League title, and Sir Alex's boys were dominating England, and now the continent. The mentality was one thing, and the players they had the other. But the tactics of Sir Alex seemed to get the best out of every team he played in. He understood the need to consistently evolve the squad. By the time United came into the early 2000s, even though they had won the league back-to-back in 2001 and 2002 to become the first team to win the league back-to-back-to-back, Sir Alex had changed the team. Yup Stam went to Lazio, Teddy Sheringham went to Spurs, Andy Cole and Dwight York left in the following seasons, and a large number of successful units of that treble-winning side were gone. Even goalkeeper Kasper Schmeichel left. But United still managed to dominate the English game. They even made it to the semi-finals of the Champions League in 2003. In 2002, Sir Alex almost quit the team, and looking at it now, this could have damaged United and probably won't have made them as successful as they are today. He stayed regardless, and even though his decision to remain at the squad provided an upturn in results, the early season dip in form was costly. United lost the league to Arsenal that season, and in the following two campaigns had to watch on as Chelsea won it back-to-back. If there's one thing Sir Alex Ferguson was really good at, it was knowing how to get the best out of any situation. And if there's one thing Matchday 365 is really good at, it's giving you the best footy content on YouTube. So hit that subscribe button to the channel so you never miss out. Sir Alex understood the challenge at hand and found ways to solve it. Chelsea's dominance at the team was matched with the spending power of new owner Roman Abramovich. Yeah, but on the pitch, they also had a dynamic manager in Jose Mourinho, the man whose Porto team knocked United out of the Champions League route to winning it in 2004. He'd taken elements of Mourinho's style of football, added it to his own, and in turn created a United team that was both defensively solid and attackingly expansive. They'd moved on from the days of Yup Stam and Ronnie Johnson in defence to a centre-back pairing of Rio Ferdinand and Nemanja Vidic, arguably the greatest centre-back pairing in the history of English football. Down the flanks, Patrice Evra did a job at left-back, and when he was fit, Gary Neville started at right-back. If he wasn't, Wes Brown would fill in that spot, but it was in midfield and attack Sir Alex really implemented his new policies. The team lined up in what was supposed to be a 4-4-2, but it was so dynamic, it was anything but that. Roy Keane was gone, David Beckham was gone, but Sir Alex had already figured out possible replacements for these players, and in the aspect of David Beckham, his replacement was the Portuguese talent from Madeira. Cristiano Ronaldo joined the team in 2003, Wayne Rooney joined a year later, and by 2007, these two had developed into a deadly attacking force for United. Louis Saha in attack for United, alongside Rooney, added dynamism up top. In midfield, Paul Scholes had the licence to become a linchpin in midfield, thanks to the efforts of Three Lungs Park, or Chae-Sung Park as he was referred to. Michael Carrick was also in the team. They had players and the depth to manage situations and win games. In the 2006-2007 season, United stopped Chelsea from equalising their status as the only English team to win the Premier League 3 times in a row by winning the league for the first time in 4 years. They won it with 6 points over Chelsea, and the following season in 2008, they did it again, 2 points over the Blues. In fact, they beat Chelsea on 3 separate occasions that year: the Community Shield, the League, and in Europe. an All-English final that went United's way, a second Champions League success for the Red Devils under Sir Alex. But unfortunately, what they didn't know at the time was that they were living in the glory days. They won the league again in the 2008-9 season, this time edging out a Liverpool team with 5 points after the final game of the season, and made it to a second successive Champions League final too. But in truth, they played against a Pep Guardiola-led Barcelona team that ran them to pieces. In the next 4 seasons, United managed 2 more league titles in 2010 to 2011 and 2012 to 2013. But something was happening here. The United glory days had reached its peak, and the other team from Manchester, or the noisy neighbours, well, they were starting to take over as the number team in Manchester, and England for that matter. This wasn't a blip, this was a sign of things to come. City won the league in the season they beat United 6-1, but that United took this City team to the final day, and the goal difference to win it despite suffering this defeat shows just how resilient they were under Sir Alex. Sir Alex eventually announced his retirement from the game in 2013. A sad day for United fans because, in truth, they've never recovered after that. Post-Ferguson has been below average. When Sir Alex appointed his successor, David Moyes, fans hoped it would be a continuation of the same traditions under Sir Alex. But it was far from that. He didn't even last a full season at the club and was sacked in 2014. After him, Louis van Gaal was next to try and restore United to its glory days. And while he did manage to bring in the FA Cup in 2016, and the emergence of players like Jesse Lingard, Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial to the club, the criticism with Van Gaal was his lack of attractive football. United looked dull under him, and at the end of the 2015-16 campaign, he was gone. Who next? The special one. Shocking, the man who had rivaled Sir Alex all those years back with Chelsea was now at the dugout for United. Mourinho remains the most successful manager post-Alex Ferguson to date. He won the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season, brought Paul Pogba back to the club, and made him the then most expensive signing in world football at the time. The dab culture was now in Manchester. Some of you watching right now, yeah, you, haven't subscribed to our new channel Matchday 365 yet. So what are you waiting for? Smash that subscribe button down below. Yeah, that, the marquee signing of Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Mourinho seemed like he had a plan to at least get United a stable level of success. In the 2017-18 season, he made a statement that might have seemed more weird at first, but looking back on it now, cannot be closer to the truth. If I tell you, for example, that I considered one of the best jobs of my career was to finish second with Manchester United in the Premier League, you will say this guy's crazy. Yeah, given the fact that United had won the league 3 years back, we'd have said he was. In the 2017-18 season, United finished 19 points off Manchester City in second place. But when you realise now that United haven't hit the 80-point mark in the league since that period, then Mourinho wasn't wrong. After a mixed start to the season in 2018-19, Mourinho was eventually sacked, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the guy who won them the Champions League in 1999, was now manager of the club, almost 20 years after. Under Ole, United played a decent brand of attacking football, but with no trophies to show for it, that's what it was at best, attacking football. They lost the 2021 Europa League final to Villarreal, and in 2021-22, despite a sensational Cristiano Ronaldo return to Old Trafford, Ole was sacked, and his replacement is the current Manchester United manager. Erik ten Hag. Love him if you hate United, hate him if you love United. That's how it works. Under Ten Hag, understanding where United really are is a problem. Does the board have faith in him? Are they seeing the results? It's hard to tell, but for now, they're letting him do his thing. It'd be very unfair to pin the failures of United post-Ferguson on just the managers alone. As Ronaldo pointed out in his infamous interview with Piers Morgan in 2022, that led to his contract getting terminated at the club. Everything stayed the same from when he was there. The kitchen, the gym, the leaking stadium roofs, even reports of rats at Old Trafford. United failed to evolve from the top up, and it eventually affected the performance on the pitch. They spent a lot to basically get nowhere. Look at the signings in the last few years at the club. It's nothing to write home about. Jadon Sancho for over $75 million from Borussia Dortmund in 2021, currently has more goals and assists playing for his new team Chelsea in 2024 than he had playing for United 2 seasons back. $100 million signing Antony. Well, is Antony. The club might be on the way up soon, but for now, Ferguson is the best they've ever had. Thanks for watching to the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment of what you really think about Ten Hag down below. If you don't subscribe, you're going to miss out on all future content just like this video. So hit that button now and I'll see ya in the next one.